We're wondering about our Lost River camping trip. I'm going to try a few new things, so bear with me because I'm trying to figure this out as we go. So, generally speaking, from Mackey, you go up past Mackey Reservoir and you turn essentially east-ish on Trail Creek Road. You follow that back to the East Fork of the Big Lost, which is the road that goes back into Copper Basin. And as soon as you get just a little bit down that road, then there's a road off to the south, Wildhorse Creek. And there where the triangle is the campground at Wildhorse Creek. So in general, we did quite a bit of riding around this area. I can show you a high level of, so this is all of our tracks. So this is the general area where we did all of our rides. So we'll look at each of these individually with some pictures and videos of the rides, see if we can put that all together and make it work. All right, so the very first day, of course, we got there and I switched to a different map, but past Mackey, Trail Creek Road, Wildhorse Creek. So if we spin around here, so come by Mackey, Trail Creek Road, you come in, this is the road you follow. You go through this Wildhorse Ranch, private property, and this is the East Fork Road that goes off to Copper Basin, and you go past Wildhorse Guard Station, sits here in the valley. And the road goes on in this along Wildhorse Creek. And it's a great view of some of the mountains in the background. We mostly just set up camp this first day. This is the camp loop. And our campsite was here. We set up camp this first day. Didn't do much riding, but we did follow this little purple line back. And we rode back here to the trailhead. And I didn't have my video cameras out because it was really our camp setup day. But I got a couple of still pictures I'll show here in a second. But this is as far as you can drive. Then from there, there's a trail that goes up each direction. And you have Howard Peak kind of right here in front of you. Hindman and Old Hindman Peaks off here on the right. They're the real prominent ones that you'll see in the photograph. So after driving up Wildhorse Creek Valley, we got our camp all set up. And then there's this big rock as you look back out towards Mackey, up on the hillside. Couldn't find a name for it. I'm sure it's got one. And so then took a few minutes, got the drone out to fly around and get a bird's eye view of the valley. So after putting the drone away, grabbing a bite to eat, we took that ride up to the head of Wildhorse Creek, up to that trailhead, and magnificent views of those mountains at the upper end. Totally worth a trip up there. It's a rough road. Wouldn't want to drive my pickup up there, but it was great for the ATVs. So for our first main ride, we found this loop on the map where you head out of camp down to East Fork, follow Big Lost up to Copper Basin, right before you get to Copper Basin Guard Station. You head up, climb up the hills, pretty good climb. You go over Corral Creek Summit, and zigzag your way down the other side. You're up just above Mackey Reservoir at this point, and then made a loop back to Trail Creek and looped all the way back. Made for a pretty good day. It was almost 80 miles, and was a really good start to the trip. So here we go. So from the top of Corral Creek Summit, there's a great vista overlook. Lets you look down over to the Lost River Range. Great view of Mount Bora, all those tall peaks, and Mackey Reservoir. Mackey's down in the valley below you, and just a wonderful place to pull off, take a few minutes, and look around. And just like that, the loop was complete. We were back at camp, ready to grab a bite to eat, and looking forward to planning the next day's ride. Well, the second main ride of the trip was where we head out of camp, get East Fork, follow that back to Copper Basin. So this is Copper Basin Loop Road. So we wanted to do that loop road, look at these campgrounds at the upper end, and there's this trail that goes back to some alpine lakes. We'll kind of zoom around, take a peek, but it is indeed a trail. It's limited to 50-inch wide ATVs or smaller or narrower, and for good reason. So you can only, I think there's the trailhead is right here, and it comes on back up the valley, and then you get to these alpine lakes at the back end. So Round Lake, Long Lake, Rough Lake, aptly named, Big Lake, and Golden Lake. So these all sit back up here, and you can see the topography a little better. This trail has some tricky spots, and it's narrow in places. Pretty much, there's a lot of scrapes on the rocks on both sides, but the views up there are fantastic. So that's the next day's journey. Here we go. It's 16 miles from camp back to the Copper Basin Loop Road. So fortunately, the roads were good and we were able to make pretty good time.
big lake. Or as big as they come up here.
And then we were planning the next day's ride, which took us from camp back out to East Fork, and then up to Wildhorse Lookout. And I will tell you, that was quite a climb once you cross the Big Lost. This climb up to the lookout is quite a climb. Put the quads to work. So after we got up there, we had a little extra time, so we came back down and hit Trail Creek, came up to North Fork, and drove the North Fork Road back up as far as we wanted to go. Then back to camp. So here we go.
Wildhorse Lookout. There's lots to look at. Down there's the road we came on. Wildhorse Campground's right up that canyon. This would be a route with a view. See through sunglasses and a phone screen.
So the last day of riding, we wanted to take Trail Creek Road over Trail Creek Summit towards Ketchum and Sun Valley. And wanted to see what that road was like, see if it was anything I wanted to drag the trailer over. I assumed probably not, but it would cut a lot of miles off coming home. But wanted to check it out, see what that road was like. So we headed back out Trail Creek and then came down over the summit. And so Trail Creek Summit sits right there. And this is the road where everybody talks about. Excuse me. And it's a good road, but it's exposed, and you don't want to fall off of it, for sure. And it's not as smooth as I would. If it was smooth, it'd be easy to drive the trailer over. But with other vehicles, and as rough as it is, washboards and that sort of thing, it's better spent money on fuel to go around than replacing suspension parts. So we took off and we went as far down as the pavement and then turned around and came back. And then we did a side trip back to camp up King Creek. And this little jaunt was really pretty scenic. You come up the valley. There's a trailhead at the upper end, and from that trailhead, the mountains at the upper end, Devil's Bedstead, I think they call it, is right in front of you. And so it makes for a really nice backdrop as you ride up the valley. So here it all is. Well, that about wraps up our 6 days up at Wildhorse. We saw a lot of country, covered a lot of ground. There's a lot more country up there we'd like to go see, explore a little bit deeper, spend a little more time, do some fishing, and get to know some of those canyons a little bit better. But there's a lot of good country up there to go play in, so better start planning the next trip. And that wraps it up. Thanks.